In 1 hour of intense exercise, your body loses 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium through sweat. I bought 10 of the best-selling sports drinks in America and flipped every bottle over. 7 out of 10 contained less than 30 milligrams, replacing less than 5% of what a single hard workout takes from you. A $10 billion a year industry, and most of what is on the shelf cannot do the one thing printed on the label: replace electrolytes. That gap between the promise and the formula changed the way I look at every bottle in the cooler. The name says vitamin, the name says water. What the name does not say is 33 grams of sugar, only 6 grams less than a can of Coca-Cola. Divide 33 by 4, and you get more than 8 teaspoons of sugar in one bottle. That is the simplest test when you are holding any drink on the shelf. Divide the sugar grams by 4, and you will see how many teaspoons you are about to swallow. 8 teaspoons in something called water. Coca-Cola acquired Glacéau, the creator of Vitaminwater, in 2007. In 2009, a federal court ordered Coca-Cola to stop advertising vitamins plus water equals all you need for violating food labeling rules. The company settled. The marketing phrase disappeared. The name stayed. The formula stayed. I looked at the sugar source on the label: crystalline fructose, a concentrated form that hits the liver faster than table sugar because it bypasses the digestion step that regular glucose goes through. In a bottle with the word water on the front, that sweetener is working harder than the vitamins inside. The sodium sat under 10 milligrams, practically zero. For casual flavored water, Vitaminwater serves that purpose. And at under $2, nobody is complaining about the price. But there is another bottle at 3 times the cost, with 2 social media stars on the front, where the sodium is even lower. A bottle of Prime costs $2 to $3 at most convenience stores. I tried a simple comparison. Divide the price of the bottle by the milligrams of sodium inside. Prime, $2.50 divided by 10 milligrams, 25 cents per milligram of sodium. Gatorade, $1.50 divided by 160 milligrams, less than a penny. You're paying 25 times more per unit of electrolyte, and the difference is not going into the formula. Where it goes, the front of the bottle tells you. Congo Brands, a company based in Louisville, Kentucky, built this brand entirely around 2 YouTubers, Logan Paul and KSI. The ingredient list starts with filtered water and coconut water from concentrate, meaning the original coconut water was dehydrated, shipped across the Pacific, then reconstituted with water at the bottling facility. That is standard industry practice, but it is a long way from the fresh coconut water image the branding suggests. Potassium at 700 milligrams is among the highest in the category, and the coconut water base has real value for light, everyday hydration. But the body loses far more sodium through sweat than potassium, and the sodium line on Prime's label reads 0% of the daily value. The real value of this bottle is flavored coconut water, not electrolyte replacement after hard training. And while Prime sells image, there's another brand that sells story, a story that starts with $6 million and Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant invested $6 million in this brand in 2014 and said Gatorade had become bland with no innovation. When Coca-Cola bought full ownership in 2021, his estate received roughly $400 million. The story is extraordinary. The formula raises a different question. BodyArmor's label highlights coconut water and potassium, 530 milligrams per 12 ounces, among the highest in the category. But here is the question the label does not ask. Is the highest electrolyte on the label the one the body loses most through sweat? Human sweat is primarily sodium chloride. The body loses far more sodium through sweat than potassium. Coconut water is naturally rich in potassium and naturally poor in sodium. The formula was built around an ingredient that sounds natural on a label, not around what sweat actually takes from you. I compared sodium across every brand in this ranking, and BodyArmor's 30 milligrams was the lowest of any major sports drink in America. The formula prioritized the electrolyte that looks good in marketing, not the one the body is actually asking for. No artificial dyes, no artificial sweeteners. That part is real. 21 grams of sugar, identical to Gatorade. For casual everyday hydration, it is a reasonable choice. But the distance between a $400 million brand story and 30 milligrams of sodium is hard to explain. So what does the body actually need after sweating? And why are the brands that answer that question not the ones standing at the front of the cooler? Every brand in the watch list was built for the person reading the label, not for the body wearing the sweat. The formula was designed for your perception, not your physiology. Why do billion-dollar companies keep selling drinks that replace less than 5% of what an athlete loses per hour? Because the buyer judges the front of the bottle. The back tells a different story. Two brands started from the opposite question. What is actually in sweat? One was mixed in a hotel kitchen during the Tour de France because commercial drinks were making riders vomit mid-race. The other was designed by a biochemist who matched the formula to sweat composition, not shelf appeal. In 1965, kidney disease researchers at the University of Florida developed a drink to stop football players from collapsing in the heat. 60 years later, PepsiCo is removing petroleum-derived artificial dyes from that same drink. In April 2026, the company announced it would strip Red 40, Yellow 5, and Blue 1 from the Thirst Quencher and Gatorade Zero lines, replacing them with plant-derived colorants before fall 2026. The powder versions have already been reformulated. I grabbed a classic Thirst Quencher off the shelf, one of the bottles still carrying the old formula, 21 grams of sugar and 160 milligrams of sodium. The sodium at this level actually works, higher than every brand in the watch list. The sugar provides real fuel for endurance exercise lasting more than an hour. But the dyes that PepsiCo is now removing served no function whatsoever for 60 years. They existed to make the liquid look bright yellow or electric blue. If the dyes were unnecessary, what else in the formula has been there for shelf appeal rather than performance? I mixed a glass after a morning run. The familiar taste, sharp sweetness that anyone who played sports in the 90s recognizes. After 45 minutes of running, the body absorbed it noticeably faster than plain water. Stir it into a glass with ice after mowing the lawn, and you understand why this formula has survived 60 years of competition. 160 milligrams sounds good, but for athletes losing 500 to 1,000 milligrams per hour, it is only a fraction. 21 grams of sugar is a lot if you are not training long enough to burn through it. But there is a brand that took WHO research as its foundation and turned it into a registered trademark. The World Health Organization developed a dehydration formula, an exact ratio of sodium, glucose, and water, to treat cholera patients in areas without IV drips. Liquid I.V took that exact formula, trademarked it as cellular transport technology, and turned a public health protocol into a proprietary invention. 500 milligrams of sodium and 380 milligrams of potassium per packet, 3 times stronger than Gatorade on sodium alone. The ORS science behind it is real and has been validated across decades of field research. I first heard about the brand from a friend who runs marathons. It felt small and mission-driven. In 2020, Unilever acquired it. The parent company of Dove soap and Hellmann's mayonnaise now makes the premium electrolyte packet in your gym bag. The formula, 11 grams of cane sugar, citric acid, natural flavors, did not change after the acquisition. The ownership did. I mixed a passion fruit packet after a hard session in the heat. A mild saltiness woven through sweet and tart, closer to salted lemonade than candy. After an hour of training, the thirst faded noticeably faster than with plain water. Mix a packet into cold water after yard work in August, and the difference between this and a bottle of Gatorade is something your body registers before your tongue does. The 2x faster hydration claim on the package compares to water alone. Technically defensible, but sets an expectation no single drink fully delivers. 11 grams of sugar is less than Gatorade, but still sugar. Only available as powder, no ready-to-drink bottle, and at roughly $1.30 per packet you have to plan ahead. But the hotel kitchen in the middle of the Tour de France? That story started with a rider vomiting mid-race. Dr. Alan Lim has a PhD in exercise physiology. He worked as the sport scientist for pro cycling teams during the Tour de France, and the sports drinks his riders were supposed to use were making them vomit mid-race. So he started mixing his own in hotel kitchens, targeting the exact electrolyte ratio his riders lost through sweat. I ordered the lemon lime and mixed it before a long run. The ingredient list confirmed what the origin story promised. Cane sugar, dextrose, sodium citrate, citric acid, calcium citrate, magnesium carbonate, potassium citrate, real fruit extract, vitamin C, no dyes, no artificial flavors, no preservatives. 380 milligrams of sodium per serving, more than double Gatorade. But the detail that caught my attention was the 2 sugar types. The body absorbs glucose and fructose through 2 separate intestinal transporters, like 2 doors instead of 1. Using cane sugar and dextrose together opens both doors simultaneously, which speeds up fluid absorption during exercise. That mechanism is why Skratch chose 2 sugars instead of 1. The formula was not built for a label, it was built for a gut lining during a 100-mile stage in July heat. The lemon lime tastes like actual lemon lime, not candy. The sweetness is restrained, almost quiet. Pour it into a bottle before a long bike ride, and by mile 40 you understand why Tour de France riders chose this over everything the sponsors offered. 19 grams of sugar if you are on a lower carb plan. That is a real limitation. It only comes as powder, no ready-to-drink bottle. And at roughly $1.20 per serving, you have to plan ahead and mix it yourself. The convenience gap is real, but for anyone training hard enough to need real electrolyte replacement, the formula speaks for itself. At $1.50 per packet, LMNT is the most expensive option in this ranking. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. Most brands in the watch list focus on 1 or 2 electrolytes. LMNT addresses 3, and the reason is how they work together. Sodium maintains fluid balance and replaces the primary mineral lost in sweat. Potassium supports nerve signaling between muscles. Magnesium, in the malate form, which the body absorbs more readily than the oxide form in cheaper supplements, helps prevent the cramping that shows up when all 3 are depleted. Co-founded by biochemist Rob Wolf, the formula was built around one principle: match the electrolytes to sweat, not to the label. I mixed a citrus salt packet after a hard session in the heat. The cramping eased, the fog cleared, and the drink tasted salty because it was built to replace salt. Flavors like watermelon salt and mango chili balance the sodium rather than hiding it. If you are used to candy-sweet sports drinks, the first sip will reset your expectations. Mix a packet before mowing the lawn in August heat. The difference is something your body notices before your brain does. Sports science recommends 500 to 1150 milligrams of sodium per liter during high-intensity exercise. LMNT delivers 66 to 100% of hourly sodium loss in a single packet. 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 artificial sweeteners or dyes. 6 ingredients. The trade-off: 1,000 milligrams is too much for light exercise. Stevia has an aftertaste some people dislike, only available as powder. At $1.50 or $1 at Costco, the price reflects the formula, but not the branding. Remember the 5% from the beginning of this video. LMNT is the first product where the number on the back matches the science. 1,000 milligrams. That is not marketing, that is math. I stopped buying based on the front of the bottle after flipping all 10. The rules that stuck are simple. If the sodium is lower than a glass of tap water, it is flavored water, not a sports drink. If the same company sells you the regular version and the premium alternative, check whether the alternative actually solves the problem. If you need a drink during exercise, match it to your sweat, not to what the label makes you feel. If the ingredient list puts sugar before sodium, the formula was designed for your tongue, not for your muscles. If a brand highlights potassium but buries the sodium line, ask yourself which mineral your body actually loses the most through sweat. The answer has not changed in 60 years of sports science. The marketing has changed every single year. Here is what I do now. Before a hard session, I check 3 numbers on the back of any drink I am considering. Sodium first because that is what sweat takes the most. Potassium second because it supports what sodium cannot do alone. Sugar third because fuel matters during long efforts but becomes dead weight during short ones. If all 3 numbers make sense for what I'm about to do, the drink goes in my bag. If any one of them does not, I already know the formula was built for someone browsing a shelf, not someone about to sweat through a shirt. I used to grab whatever was cold and looked right. I do not do that anymore. Not because the old drinks were terrible, most of them taste fine, but because tasting fine and doing the job are 2 completely different standards. A candy bar tastes fine. That does not make it a recovery tool. The same question that changed how I buy sports drinks now follows me through every aisle. Pick up any product that claims to solve a problem, protein bars, recovery shakes, vitamin fortified anything, and run the same test. Does the number on the back actually deliver what the words on the front are promising? The distance between the claim and the formula is where most of your money quietly disappears. The yogurt that says protein packed, but carries more sugar per serving than protein. The juice that says immune support, but contains less vitamin C than an orange you could buy for 40 cents. The pattern is the same everywhere, a promise on the front, a different story on the back. And once you start measuring that distance in every aisle, you stop shopping the way the label wants you to shop. You start shopping the way your body needs you to. What is the brand you have been grabbing after every workout? And have you ever flipped it to look at the sodium? Every shelf in the grocery store has a story like this one. I am working through them one aisle at a time. The sodium test works on anything that claims to replace what the body loses. Flip it over, find the number, then decide for yourself.